Hello guys, in our last videos we made our editor. So in here we can write something or we can put some image in here, and we can put some video too, this. And if you want to, you can paste some code in here and then wrap it with the code blocks like this. So this is what we did in our last video. So what we need to do today is first we need to make this page. So if we write something in here, it will go to this page as a list. So you can see here, like you can see the detailed content like this. So images or videos. So and then we are also gonna make the more detailed page. If we click this one, we come in here. So names or the days when we made that post, and then yeah, this kind of thing. So it will be shorter video than before because this one is the hardest, like making editor is the hardest and most important thing in these projects. But before going into the other page, so there are some errors we made in our last video. So first we are gonna fix the problem, and then we will come in here and here. So first we will fix the problems. So we flip back over to our text editor. First I'm going to let you see the mistake I've made in our last video. That was in here. So when we click the submit button, yeah, we will come in here, this function. First we will check our user is logged in. So if user is logged in, we need to come this part. We will get the variables, so we will send to the backend. In here we need to send the content, and we also need to send the user ID, because if we write something in here and come in here, not only we have the contents that we just made in our editor, we also need to have the user ID or user image. So that's why we also need to send the user ID to get this part. So who made the post, we need to know that information. That's why we need to have a user ID. So in here actually we need to put this information inside a blog model. But if you see in here, the blog schemas, the key is the content and then writer. But we just give the key name is content and user ID. So we need to match that two keys with this one, this content and writer. But the content was right. The content was right, but the user ID was wrong. So I need to change that into writer. So when I just made this request into the server, if I go to server in here, the server in here, the create post, we get the request body. Our request body will be the content and writer. So it will also go to the content and writer, not as a content and user ID. This was the mistake I've made in our last video. So first I changed it, and there were also more things I need to make after we succeeded in creating the post. We need to do more thing in here, right? If I succeeded in submit this one into servers, we need to let this page into in this page. So first we come back in here. I'm going to delete this part, and if we have succeeded saving data inside the MongoDB, and we will send the success true back to the client in here. Success true. So this one's data success true. If this is true, we need to make some alert button. We can get it from the entity design instead of using just the JavaScript alert. It is prettier to use. And then post create it. After 2 seconds later, I'm going to change my page into this page. So I need to 2000 and then props, history, and push below, because this page's URL is the blog, so that's why I need to do like this. But we cannot get the props in here because we didn't put the props in here. If I put it in here, yeah, I can. We don't have an error in here. So now we are done with this editor page. We are really done with this editor page. Let's start to make this page. We don't have anything in here right now, so before making this blog page, I'm gonna let you see is that if we write some post, and then if we click this one, what will happen, I'm gonna let you see. Click it and post created, and 2 seconds later we come to blog page because we did this part, so that's why 2 seconds later we come into this part automatically. So we're gonna start making this page. If we flip back over to our blog page, in here we didn't do anything. So if we write something and then we come in here, and we can see in this one, so I need to make the template like this, and I'm going to use the anti-design to make it faster. So I'm going to bring the Axios to make the request, and I also brought the anti-designs, and I also need to write some React hook function to use it, use effect and use state. And first I'm going to make the big wrappers. So to make it,
style width 85% and margin auto and title level below post list and row total 32 and 16. And here
I'm going to make the render cars. We don't have yet. I'm going to make it later. We have an error in here because we didn't have the title. Title comes from the typography. This or title row or comes from the anti-design. So even though you don't know about this, you don't need to worry about it. So we save it, we come back in here, you can see this block list, and we need to make this cars. So in one row we will have 3 cars. So if we have 4 cars, the first card will be in here. So we need to make that part. The first thing we need to do is we need to bring all of the blocks that we made in here, all of the data in here. We need to bring them inside the MongoDB database. If we go to our MongoDB database, we already made the 4 blocks. So we need to bring all of the data in this page. So to do that, we need to do the HTTP request to the server. First, I'm going to make the state to put all of the data in. So state's name will be blocks, and this will be set blocks. We put them data as an array, and then I need to use the use effect. First, I need to type the Axios. It will be just a get HTTP request because we don't have any variable to put into. So this API locations will be just API and blog and get blogs, and then blah blah blah. And first we need to make this one inside the server controller. Go to blog router in here, paste it in here, and then copy and paste it in here, and we got that path in here. And we also need to change the post into get because we use the get request, and we need to delete this part which is not needed for this request. So what we need to do in here is we actually need to bring all of the data from the database. We will write the blog, we get it from here, this blog model, find, and we need to do populate. The reason why I need to do populate is if we go to our database in here, writer, the value is made of the user ID. Not every information actually put in here. So that's why if we want to get all of the writer's information, like the ID or name or image, if we want to get everything, but in here just that we have only user's ID, so that's why we need to do populate to get all of the information of that user. So we need to do populate and execute if we have error, and if we succeeded, so we will get blogs information, and then if we error, return response status will be 400 and send error, and response, if we succeeded in finding all of the blogs data, or response status, it will be 200 in JSON, and success will be true, and blog information, it comes from here. This is all we need to get all of the blogs data. So we need to go back to our blog page again. So we are gonna get response in here, and in here if response and data and success. We want to see the response. So first we're going to see which kind of data we can get from the backend. So if we come in here and we go to the data parts and we click the blogs, so we have 5 blogs, so we can have all of the blogs data. Not only just the contents, we also have the writer's information, because we did the populate the writer, so that's why we can have all of the data about the writers. So now what we need to do is that we can just display the blogs in here with this data. So we can come in blogs page. First I'm going to put all of the blogs information inside this blog state. To do that, I can just put response and data and blogs. So if you see here, response and data and blogs, so we can put everything in here. We delete this log, and then if we failed at just saving the data inside of MongoDB, so we will just say alert couldn't get blogs list. So all the blogs data are put in the blogs state, so we will bring the blogs, and we need to make the function in here. Start comment out this one, and const render cars and blogs state, and then we will do map and blog and index. Return. So I'm going to make the template for one and one cars. We come back in here, and then I'm going to paste the code I made in here because it will take actually a long time to type this one. I don't want to make you feel really boring to watch what I'm typing, so I copy and paste it I've made before, but we have some error linked in here. So this one was the meta come from the card. So if I explain it, so this column, and then inside the column we will have the card will be just this one, and inside the card we can have a three action, one action, second action, and third action. Insert actions, I gave the link, so if we click the third icon, we can go to the detailed page for that post. Every post has their own ID, so that's why I put the blog's ID. So if we come back in here, so we can see all of the data in here. A blogs has their own ID, dash and ID, so that's why I gave this one blog and just the blogs and then ID. And in here I gave this avatar is this one and this one, user's ID. So if you see this data, so writers and image, so blog writer image and blog writer name, and you need to carefully see this part. We get the data of content like in this way, blog and content like this, write this without that special div. I'm going to let you see what will happen. It will be just like this. It will be super awkward to see it, right? We don't know what is going on right in here, so that's why we need to use this one. Dangerously set inner HTML and dash HTML. So by putting it like this way, you can see the right way of content. Yeah, write this. But I don't know why we cannot see the photo there. Maybe I need to find some problem. But anyway, this is the things that we need to do for this page. We have the last page left we need to do. So by clicking this one, we come in last page we need to make. This is the detailed page for the specific post. So in here we need to go to post page. So if we write something in here, post page, so you can see post page. So first one we need to do is that we will bring the post detail information by using the post ID. If we see the URL blog post ID, this is the unique identification for that a post we just click. By using these IDs, we will bring the information from the MongoDB. To get this ID, we need to do post ID props and match param and post ID. We need to put the props in here again, and then by using this ID we need to bring all of the information about the post from the database. So to do that, so we need to do the post request this time. So to do an import Axios from Axios, we will use the anti-design as well for the UI. That's why I brought it in here. Axios post, because we have the variable to put into this time. That's why I'm gonna use the post request. That path will be API blog and get post. I need to set the variable post ID will be post ID. So I'm going to put this variable in here, and then blah blah blah, and then first I save it, and we go to the blog router to make this request. So go to blog routes and paste it and copy post. Maybe it's better to copy this one, copy and paste it, and copy and paste for the path for the request. And first I'm going to delete this part and this part. In our this page, we actually needed to bring all of the posts we have inside our database, but in the detailed page, we actually need to bring only one post that belong to this post. That's why we need to use log find one instead of find. So when we find only one blog data, so we will use the ID, and that ID comes from the request body and post ID, because we passed this one from our client as a post ID. That's why we need to say post ID. And we also need to do populate again for the writer and execute, and error and post for the callback. And if we got the error, we will return response and status for 100 and send error response status to 100 for success, and JSON success true, and post information we will send to the front our client. So we go back to our post page, and in here we are going to do response. So console, so if response and data and success, and do the console log for the response and data, response data. So we come in here, we will see our console panel. We click the post. Yeah, we got the content well. So now we can just display this post with the data we got from the backend. So it's time to make the template by using the anti-design again. So for the template, I'm just going to the copy and paste it to shorten the length of our video time, because if become too long, I know people are not gonna like it. So I copy and paste it in here, but I didn't do everything in here. I'm sorry about that. First in here, so I needed to do the as we did in here, like we put all of the data inside the blog state. We also needed to do the post data inside the state. We need to save it inside the state. So to do it, use state. This name will be post. So for this one, it's better to use the capital. Put that as an array again, and set post. We come in here, response data, and we come in here, we give as a post variable. So that's why I need to put it as a post, delete it, and if we fail it, and we need to do alert again, fail to bring post data. So we also need to give the title again, here const oh, what is going on? It's the title and typography. So if we see in here, the reason why I give some conditioner in here is so when we don't have the we need to have some time to bring this data. So that's why when we don't have the data, so we just let this one be displayed. The loading signature will appear, and after we get the data, this one, so we will display the content we want to display. That's why I give this condition. And as we did in here, we also put the post writer's name. So if we come in here, post writer's name, and then post created at, post created at the times we create the post, and then we also put all of the content in here with dangerously set inner HTML together. So I'm going to save it, this one, and then we come back in here. If we see first, did you see this loading sign? Fast, it is gone, but actually we need that signature, this loading, when we don't have this data. So I'm going to refresh it again, loading, and then we got this one. So I found the reason why I couldn't see this image, because I uploaded this image in another file. This file is saved in another file's node server, not in this node server. That's why it cannot find this one. But so to prove it, I'm going to post some image in here. If I put images here, put some image in here, you can actually see this one, because this image will be saved inside this file's node server. So I submit it. We come back in here. If you see it here, and you can see this image. So if I click this one, yeah, you can see this one. Because I made two source file before I made these videos, I needed to make my own code. So that's why I needed to make two source code. So actually it is done making all of the project right now. So I hope it can be really helpful for your programming skill. Actually, to make the editor for the website is kind of hard part, but you followed me really well. If you like this video, I hope you can subscribe me, and I'm going to keep uploading this kind of video. So I hope I'm going to see you later again, and thank you.